New FBI Director Kash Patel is reducing the agency's footprint in Washington, D.C., sending thousands of agents to field offices. Joining us this morning to discuss is former FBI Special Agent in Charge and former head of the Chicago Police Department, Jody Weis. Good morning to you, sir. Kash has said we need a smaller presence in Washington and renewed emphasis on the Bureau's traditional crime-fighting duties. So 1,000 agents and employees are going to be moved out of D.C., including 500, Jody, who will be transferred to Huntsville, Alabama. So what impact will this have, do you think, on FBI operations?
Well, first off, I'm a huge fan of reducing the footprint at headquarters. I know that was Louis Freeh's his idea early on. The 1,000 agents, one thing to talk about that a little bit, a lot of them are on TDY assignments to headquarters, so they're just coming home. But that's a big deal, Jan. That's literally over 100 squads that are going to be returned to the field to work criminal investigations. And you take that with the designation of some of these organizations like Tren de Aragua, MS-13 as terrorism organizations, this can make a big difference. As for Huntsville, it's an ongoing plan to migrate more resources to Huntsville. I think Kash just sped it up. Part of that might be his commitment to Katie Britt during confirmation hearings. So this is just going to speed up that process. I think in the end, there's going to be over 5,000 agents and personnel in Huntsville, Alabama.
Wow, that's a big number there. After his confirmation, Patel said anyone that wishes to do harm to our way of life and our citizens here and abroad will face the full wrath of the DOJ and FBI. He said, if you seek to hide in any corner of this country or planet, we will put on the world's largest manhunt and we will find you and we will decide your end state. When you talk about national security and the mission of the FBI, protecting Americans, upholding the Constitution, enforcing the law, how much of this, Jody, is about fighting violent crime and drug overdoses versus intelligence gathering, which has really defined the FBI's role over the past couple of decades?
Yeah, Jan, that's kind of the unique mission of the FBI. It's that dual criminal and intel mission. Both are really important. As a young agent, I always worked fugitives, bank robberies, kidnappings, and gangs. And that's the bread and butter work of the FBI. That's what it was built upon. And that's going to have the greatest impact on the American cities. It'll reduce violent crime. However, on that other side of the house, you do have to combat terrorism. You have to combat espionage. So it's a blend. But what I liked about Kash was his commitment to increase the resources working violent crime, which will have a very big impact on the communities throughout America. For example, real quick, RICO investigations. In California, when I was in Los Angeles, Bill Bratton was the head of LAPD. We had a United States attorney that used RICO all the time, and we pushed gang crime way down because they're going to go to prison 25 years to life in a prison far, far away. So this push to violent crime reduction, getting back to the criminal work, I think is going to be huge for America.
And messaging is so critical. How would you advise Kash?
Boy, messaging is so critical, and he's got to sell it externally and internally. He's very savvy with social media, which is going to help him. And he's got to use every medium he can to get his message out. He's got to convince the people in the FBI he's got their back, he's committed for them, and what his mission is. He also has to convince America that the FBI is going to be guided by the Constitution, and it will never again be perceived to be a weapon against a political party. He must regain the trust and confidence of the American people. But that message has to go inside and out. If you can't sell it, they're not going to buy it. So he's got a tough message, or a tough challenge ahead, but he's really good at that. And both he and Dan Bongino are expert in using social media. So I think they're in good hands.
All right, a good little team there. FBI Special Agent in Charge and former head of the Chicago Police Department, Jody Weis. Always a pleasure talking to you, sir. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.